We have new documents. I've been printing out the documents so you can read the headlines with me here. Judicial Watch obtains records showing contact between Peter Strzok, Bruce Ohr, and Lisa Page that the DOJ claimed it couldn't find. This is a classic. So Bruce Ohr testifies that he talked to Peter Strzok. We asked for documents about what they talked about. We asked for the documents. And the Justice Department comes back and says, we can't find them. And we said, well, you should look harder. Because he testified about it. And obviously, given Ohr and Strzok's roles, they obviously would have been in communication with us. So the Justice Department says they can't find these records, and they come back to us after we sue in court because we said we didn't believe them. And they give us the documents. And of course, they are in communication with each other. And when are they in communication with each other? Right after the president is elected to the presidency. The interregnum. The end of the Obama administration and the period just before President Trump came to office. Former FBI lawyer Lisa Page arranges a November 21st, 2016 meeting from 4:30 to 5 p.m. at FBI headquarters. Again, this is after the election. Required attendees: Ohr, Strzok, and FBI Deputy Assistant Director for Counterintelligence Jonathan Moffa. It's obviously about Russia. Again, another meeting. Ohr's attempting directly to arrange a meeting with Page himself and Bruce Swartz, who is head of the criminal division. Then head of the criminal division. I guess he's not there anymore. Ohr writes to Strzok and Page under the subject, and the subject of the email is meeting with Swartz. Thanks again for taking the time to chat today. As I mentioned, I would like to set up a short meeting with us and Bruce Swartz. Would next Monday at 5:30 p.m. work? Also, is there any chance you guys could come over to our building? What you have to remember the context here is that at the same time Ohr is meeting with Steele and the FBI and sharing dirt on Trump that he's getting from Fusion GPS and his wife who worked there. I'll tell you, it is a patent place over at the Justice Department and the FBI in terms of the conflicts. And of course, you got Page and Strzok having an adulterous relationship. Which doesn't get enough attention in the sense everyone laughs about it. And I guess, it's always a kind of a sad, tragic situation when you have adultery like that. But it's a major corruption issue because Page is a senior lawyer working for the number 2 in the FBI. Her paramour, Strzok, is a senior counterintelligence official. As a lawyer, she's supposed to be providing disinterested advice on behalf of the American people who she works for on legal issues that come across the desk of her boss, Andrew McCabe, and her colleague, Peter Strzok. How on earth can you provide disinterested legal advice to your adulterous lover? It corrupted everything they were involved in, guys. Corrupted everything they were involved in. And then add to the combustion, you have Bruce Ohr working on behalf of his wife, who had been paid by Fusion GPS, who was also paid by the Clinton and DNC gang. And talking to Christopher Steele, who had been hired and then fired by the FBI. What an ethical mess. No wonder Durham found evidence of criminal activity in the targeting of President Trump. People say, does Durham know about these documents? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if they do know, if one hand knows what the other is doing at the Justice Department. But these are the sorts of documents he's going to want to look at. These are the bad guys. And if the bad guys are meeting, those are the sorts of things you look at if you're trying to prove a conspiracy. So this is just tremendous information that Judicial Watch just gets. And I have to say, you know, our lawyers do the heavy lifting here, our investigative team do the heavy lifting, but we can't do it without your support. So when we get this groundbreaking, history-making material, because even though the media doesn't want to cover it, it's still history-making. Because we're proving that the corruption and documenting the corruption behind the worst corruption scandal in American history. And whether anyone goes to jail over it is one thing, but at least publicly we're holding these people accountable. And they can't escape the truth. And we only do it with your support. So this is, again, this is what the coup is about. The coup is about stopping the Justice Department and stopping the American people from focusing on the true corruption involved in the targeting of President Trump. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again. President Trump, the President of the United States, is a crime victim. He was victimized by this gang I'm talking about, and he's being victimized right now by this abuse of power in this conspiracy against him being led by Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi. Next up, an interesting story. Judicial Watch does, the swamp isn't just in Washington, D.C. And those of you watching from other parts of the country, you know the swamp is all over the country. Swamp ways of local governments and state governments are just as corrupt as they are here in D.C.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.